In this video, I don't know why I always find it funny right at the beginning of a video. In this video, we're going to do Hello World with Webstorm. It's going to be so awesome. And then we're going to write the program. We're going to see code completion. That's going to be amazing. And then we're going to go to the terminal and we're going to format our code by running go format or phunk. I'm not sure how you actually say this one. I'm going to just go with go format. Or phunk because that's the way it's spelled. I don't know. See, I'm always confused. And then we're going to run it. We're going to see our program run. That's going to be amazing and awesome. And then I'll show you how to set your theme, just in case you didn't get that. We'll see that. All right, so let's go to Webstorm. We are ready to write code. I'm so excited. So the first thing we need is package main. There it is, right? Package main, first line. And then I don't have to worry about imports, right? It will recognize imports automatically. Occasionally I might need to adjust it. But the first thing I just need to do is just phunk main. And then, you know, my parens where I put in, when I'm declaring it, like here are the parameters I'm declaring. And when I'm using it, those would be the arguments I pass in. But phunk main, and that's it. And then phunked print line. And look at that. Look at that. Code completion. I could go in here and I could see what are my different options. And it kind of gives me this idea of like, oh, you know, here's what it takes. It's a variadic function, so it takes as many arguments as I want to pass in of any type, since it says empty interface here, and we'll learn what that means, right? And it returns in int and an error. So if I wanted to, I could catch those and use them, and I could check, you know, like how many, you know, well, I'll show you. What is that int? We'll see that in a second. All right, so print line, that's the one I want. And just hello world. And you'll notice like as soon as I like kind of did it, it brought my import in for me. And my natural inclination is to come up here and hit enter to put a line between that. But before I do that, I could come down to the terminal. I love it. I love it. We're rocking it. I could come down, sorry if that's annoying. I could come down to the terminal and there's my terminal. Alternatively, if I didn't see it, I'd click just that little small square right there, and I could choose terminal from right there. So right here, I'm already, you know, at my folder where I'm writing my code. I just need to go into the O1 folder. So I'm going to CD O1, hit tab to complete that, and now I am in my O1 folder, and I could go phunked. So that's another go command we're learning about. We're learning about all these different go commands. And just to remind you, you can see the go commands by typing in go. And, right, I typed in go. And then there are all the go commands. So now we're learning about go phunked. We're learning a lot of these different go commands. And I don't know. Whoa, I love it. I just did Control K and it cleared out my window. It wasn't working in the other shell, the get shell, but in this one it totally works. So Control click K cleared my window. That's awesome. So I cleared my window. Now I'm going to run go phunked. And it's going to format my code. And I click back up here to see it, and you can see it arranged my code in the way that Go says this is the way your code should be arranged. So that's awesome. Now, I mentioned that, hey, variadic, all that stuff. Here's something that's cool. I don't code in Windows. I code on Mac, so I'm making a little bit of transition. So in Mac, you'd hold down Command and go over something. You see how it turned blue? Here in Windows, you hold down Control and you go over something, and then I could click that, and it brought me right to the source code of the standard library, and it said, here it is, here's the description. This is the exact same description that's in the documentation, because the documentation is built off of the comments that are put in above things in your code. And so this is the exact same thing I'd see if I went to golang.org documentation or godoc.org documentation. So I could read the documentation, and then I could see here the int and the error. Right, so it says spaces are always added. It returns the number of bytes written, so now I know what the int is, and any write error encountered. So if I wanted to, you know, deal with those, I could. So that's pretty amazing. And then here are the internals of what it's actually doing. It's calling fprintline, and it's printing to standard out, right? A, and it's an unlimited number of A's that are being passed in there. Whoa. This is totally cool to that easily be able to go from the code you're writing to looking up documentation to seeing the internals of the program. Dude, I get chills, like literally I just got a chill, like that is so sweet. That saves so much time. You don't have to look stuff up. You hold down Control That's it. And you're looking at the documentation and you're seeing the internals and you're able to see how it actually works. Oh man, it's so sweet, right? If I wanted to see OS standard out, what is that? I just click on that. It takes me to OS standard out. It's a variable, you know, holy cow, that is so cool. I love it. Anyhow, it's like, that's the thing about this language. It's like the more I got into it, I just keep discovering these things where I'm like, yes, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should have always been. I'm glad somebody finally made it that way. All right, so, you know, we did go phunk and we formatted it. Now all we got to do is go run main.go, right? So go run main.go. That's going to run this file because we're running it right here. Hit enter. And it'll take a moment the first time for the Go SDK to sort of like start all of its engines. But then after that, it's quick. You can see it was still really quick. But hello world. So we just did hello world. That's really slick stuff. And let's just make sure we covered everything. Go phunk at the terminal. Go run at the terminal. Writing the program. Code completion. You know, I think we should add in here, you know, viewing. Control click. I don't know, I'll add it in and we'll come back to it. But the last thing we want to see is setting your theme. So setting your theme, we talked about how you could go and you could get, you know, you could do Webstorm themes and you could come here and you could download different themes for Webstorm and then you could go to help. And in help it says you need to import that by going to file import setting. So we go file settings. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted file import settings, and then once I've imported what I've downloaded, whichever theme I downloaded, right? So I choose a theme, I download it, and then I come in here, file import settings. Once I've done that, I come into settings, and I have to follow this right here, where it says go into preferences, expand editor, colors and fonts tab, and choose installed theme. So I need to go to editor, colors and fonts. And I'm looking for colors and fonts and installed theme. So here, right here, scheme is Sublime Text. So, you know, they're saying it'd be called, I'm just trying to reconcile what they have in the documentation between. There we go. Colors and fonts tab and choose installed theme. I'm looking for installed theme, but, you know, it's scheme. So that's what you choose right there. Anyhow, we could even try, like, you know, theme and see what else comes up. You know, but it's IntelliJ. That's the only thing that comes up with theme. So that's how you do it. All right, so we learned some amazing things in this video. And, you know, the last thing I was going to add in here is just that one bit about we also saw seeing documentation, and source code internals instantly. That's a good way to describe it within Webstorm. There we go. Cool. So great stuff. Really cool stuff.